the biggest question of all time. A massive 1,750 milligram Dramamine trip report uploaded to Arrowhead on May 12, 2008. Gender, male. Body weight, 170 pounds. Age at the time of experience, not given. Of all the experiences I've had with drugs, there is one I will never ever forget. My parents are completely against drugs and underage drinking, so that made this experience even more thrilling. Going back a couple of years, when popping pills was a normal thing for me, I would take Dramamine most nights for the entire summer between my sophomore and junior year of high school. The night before this unforgettable night, I had taken 17 pills, 850 milligrams, and didn't even get a buzz because I had built my tolerance up so much. So the next night, after getting home from a busy night of work, I pulled out my bottle of Dramamine and poured the pills out on my bed. Counting them in piles of 15, I'd had a total of 35 pills. Considering the night before and not even getting a buzz, I decided to take all 35. Let the fun begin. After about 45 minutes, the pills had fully kicked in, or so I thought. A very heavy feeling overcame my entire body. My limbs felt at least 50 pounds heavier, but it didn't feel as if I was working my muscles any harder than normal. I had all the lights off in my room, blinds open to let in the moonlight, TV on. I do that because it creates more shadows in my room. As a result, more things to look at, more things to make the trip more interesting. Looking at myself in the mirror was extremely hard because I couldn't really comprehend what I was looking at. My room has 2 closets with 4 mirror doors. I knew it was me in my room, but I didn't really understand it. Yet I would take many glances, or sometimes just stare for minutes. Watching TV was tough because I would drift off quite a bit, and the TV would seem to disappear if I stared at it long enough. That would confuse the hell out of me and I would actually look for it. Dark figures would appear out of the corners of my room and walk towards me but would disappear as they got closer. Heads that looked like shadows would pop up from the foot of my bed and look at me for a second, and then duck back down. As soon as one figure disappeared, another one replaced it. My first really crazy hallucination happened while I was lying in bed. I was watching Conan, and all of a sudden I was back at work chopping up an onion. I worked at a bar and restaurant at the time. I looked up in the bar to see who was all there. Then I dropped the knife and the onion. I freaked out and searched all over my bed, inside and out, underneath and above, for this damn onion. Then I realized I wasn't at work. There was no knife and no onion, and I was fucked up. Anyway, now the fun starts. I had to take a piss really bad. I stood up out of my bed fairly slowly because I was so messed up. I didn't realize how messed up I was until this point. The heavy feeling was so intense and so hard to control at first, but taking my time and getting used to things when the situation changes seems to help me quite a bit. My depth perception was really fucked up. Sometimes it was almost as if I was cross-eyed, but other times things seemed so far away. I slowly made it to my door by holding on to things like my bed, dresser, and bookshelf. I opened my door, looked out into the recreation room of my parents upstairs, and couldn't believe I wasn't out there earlier. I must have thrown a party. Shit, I completely forgot. All my friends were there. Why wasn't I? I mean, this is my house. So I mingled through literally crowds of people, said hi to as many people as I recognized. You know, the usual. I'm a very friendly guy. That's what I do. Everything was going great until she got involved. My sister came out of her room because she heard all the commotion and popped the biggest question of all time. Bigger than the marriage question. She asked me who I was talking to. I was stunned. She knows who I hang out with. What the fuck? So anyway, I told her who, and all of a sudden I got really confused, as if I knew what was coming, but at the same time I didn't. There's nobody here, she said. Oh shit. The Dramamine. I had completely forgotten I took them damn pills and didn't even realize I was hallucinating. Then I remembered why I left my room in the first place. I had to drain the sausage. I went and did my business, and when I came out of the bathroom everybody was there again. But once again, I thought it was all real. That part of the story goes on for a little while longer, until I completely scared the shit out of my sister, and she went and got my parents. They came upstairs to figure out what was wrong. Holding a conversation at this time was impossible. I tried to make sure I stuck with one-word answers to try and save my ass, yet all I could really think of was one-word answers, and standing still and balancing was even harder. I always had to lean against something. I felt so stupid, like I was just born and learning everything for the first time again. My mom was talking to me right outside of my doorway. For some reason, I got this thought in my head that I was standing in a line and the line wouldn't move at all unless I did. So I kindly stepped aside and told the people behind me to go ahead. My mom freaked out and helped me down the stairs and into the living room where they were watching TV. She sat me on the couch and both of them started hounding me with all these questions, mainly about what I was on. I kept telling them nothing, but that wouldn't slide for long. I got up and tore all the cushions from each couch and threw them on the floor. I looked under the couch and everything. My parents asked what I was looking for and I told them my keys because I was leaving. They said I wasn't going anywhere and that's not why I was downstairs. Right then and there I knew that they knew, 100%. They freaked out and rushed me to the hospital immediately. On the way there, I was talking to my sister in the backseat of their van, but she was actually at home sleeping in her bed. At the hospital, I had more hallucinations and the heavy feeling still. A couple days later, I talked to my parents about it, and they informed me I came downstairs that night and pulled out all the pots and pans and set them on the counter on the island, not on the stove. I turned around and turned all the burners on, filled up a cup with water, and my parents stopped me just before I put the fire out on the stove. I wouldn't consider this a bad trip only because I didn't need to be hospitalized. I just needed to wait until I came down from the high. I submitted this because I wanted people to know my experience with this drug. I'm just throwing it out there for people, so take it or leave it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. New videos will be uploaded multiple times weekly. Stay safe. Catch you in the next one.